Okay, so here we have the 4x4. It's the next cube that we're going to be solving in these tutorials. And basically, the only new dynamic of the 4x4 is the extra sides, but you have to be able to visualize this as a 3x3. This is the reduction method that we're going to be using in order to solve this cube here today. So to start out, you have to really understand the dimensions of this cube and the new layout of the 4x4. Now, instead of a one-piece center on the 4x4, as you're accustomed to seeing on the 3x3, there's a one-piece center here. On the 4x4, we actually have a 2x2 center. So in any even-numbered cube, there is no fixed center on it here. We don't know what color the side is. And in order to solve the cube, we have to know the proximity of the colors to one another in order to know which side is next to what in order to solve the cube. So the first step in order to solve the 4x4 Rubik's Cube is knowing the color proximities. In any standard colored scheme, green is always opposite blue. Okay, so now I just want to go through a little bit of notation with you. When I want you to turn both of these two layers, it's like for example, if I want you to turn both two layers here, I would say that's little r and big R. That would mean to move both of these. This middle layer here is called little r. So it's dependent on whichever side also. So this face here would be little l. This one here I'm moving. That's little l. So when I say both of them, like little r and big R, that means move both of them. But if I just say little r, that means just move the middle layer. And if I say big R only, that means move the outside layer. I think that's clear. White is always opposite yellow. Orange is always opposite red. And these colors have fixed positions around the cube as well. And if you look from the blue perspective, red will always be on the front and yellow will always be to the right of it. So it goes blue, red, yellow in a counterclockwise position. And this color scheme is essential to know and be able to solve the 4x4. So like any cube, in order to solve it, you have to first scramble it up. So here we have the scrambled cube, and we twisted it in a bunch of different ways, and now it's fine here, it's all scrambled up. So what we're first going to do is accomplish this green center here. We're going to make this green 2x2 center. Okay, so this is what we're going to do first. This is our first objective here, creating this green 2x2 center. In order to do this, there's a couple different moves that we have to know. Okay, so from your cube being scrambled originally, you have to look for the various green pieces in the middle. Now there are three different types of pieces on the 4x4 cube, and any cube that is greater than a 3x3 has these three same pieces. So the three different types of pieces are these center pieces here, or middle pieces, these edge pieces, which have two colors on them, and of course the corners, which have three colors on them. And it is essential to know the difference in these in order to solve the 4x4. So first, in order to solve the green center, we have to look for some of the green center pieces. So you just look through the cube, look around for a couple of them so you know where they are, and then you start from there. So starting with this piece here, we have to make a green 2x1 bar here. So we look and we see that we have another green center piece right here. And in order to match it up with this one, we have to put them up and change and move these two layers in order to get them in the same layer. So I see that we have this one here is in the bottom left corner, and then this piece here is in the upper left corner. So in order to connect these, we're going to have to turn the top twice and then bring this side up so that we make this 2x1 green bar here. So when we turn it like that, and now we have the 2x1 green bar. So now we have to make this other 2x1 bar here. And whenever you're making 2x1 bars after your first one, and for the remaining duration of the time that you're going to have to solve the cube, you're going to be changing these centers and moving them around. So basically you have to know that whenever you're working in this layer, you want to move something else, that it's always going to be affecting the stuff you already have done. Like for example, if we turn this layer up, we're going to break our 2x1 that we already formed here. So we're going to have to go and put it like this, and we're going to have to put it parallel to the axis of which we're working. So I see that we have the two 1x1s up here that we need to connect. So we have to put this piece here, this 2x1 parallel. It could either be on this side or this side to the direction of which we're working, so we don't disrupt this pattern here. So we go back to these 1x1 centerpieces here, and just similarly to the first 2x1 we formed, we have to just put them such that when we move one side up, we'll be able to make the 2x1 bar, and that's still not affecting the other 2x1 we already made down here. So now that we see this, we can just turn them so that they're in opposite lanes and then just pull them down. So we have our green center here. So opposite green is blue, so now we're going to be forming the blue center. You could have a variety of pieces in your centers. They could either be like this, sometimes where they'll be diagonally across from each other. And if you want to match these up, it's very simple to do. You can pick either side you want, just pull half of the cube up like this. Just pull half of the cube up. So now you have one piece here and one piece down here. And then just turn the top, depending on where your bottom piece is here, and then just pull it back down to form that 2x1 bar. And then that forms that there. So now you have to keep looking around your cube. Remember, you have the green side done over here. You have to look around your cube so that you can find these 1x1 bars here. So we found that we have these two here. They could be on any number of these centers. So we have this one down here and this one up here. And now, since that we're not going to be affecting any of our layers because they're on opposite sides, we can just bring this one up like this, and we have this other 2x1 blue bar here. Sometimes they'll be in a different position, and you'll have to do some other moving around the cubes, but the main standard ones you'll have is that case where you have the one blue here and the one blue here, in which you just bring it up and then turn the top and bring it back down. Or you could have them just on different layers where you would just mix them up and like move the top around so that they'll be able to align correctly with this piece here. So now, once you have these 2x1 bars like this, and you want to put this bar up here, you can't just pull this up like this and put it up here. You can't just turn these both left sides up and pull it up here, because that will disrupt the green side, which you already completed up here. So you have to put them in the parallel direction in the same line here and put them up like that. So we see that we have the green on the bottom here, and we have these two blue 2x1s up here. So we're going to have to turn this so that these two blue 2x1s here are in the same layer, so that we can put them in next to each other. So to do that, you have to pull both sides up, turn the top 180 degrees or 2U, and pull it back down. Now when you do this, you'll see that you have placed both of these two blue pieces together, and you haven't disrupted the green side either. Now that we have the green and the blue sides matched up correctly, we're going to have to do the remaining centers, the other 4 centers. So it's imperative that you put the green and blue sides on the left and right sides right now, and that you're only working on these middle layers. So you look around your cube to see if you have anything paired up. We have the white, this white 2x1 here. It's already done for us, so we can go and match up another color. So we look around, we have a white piece down here, so we can just bring it up. So this is another common problem you'll see here, or another common pattern you'll see here when you have this L like this. And this is very good for solving the centers, because we just have to do a simple algorithm to get the other piece here. You don't have to kick this one out. So you look around the cube to see the other white piece, and in this case it's here. Sometimes it could be like up here or up here, and one of these 4. It could be in any of these 4 here. But in this case, it's right here. So what you need to do is, with the L on top, you have to look for this middle jointing piece of the L and have it so that it's in the same position as this piece that you want to move it in. Like, see, we have this piece, this middle piece that's down here in the bottom right corner, but this this piece here is in the upper right corner, so we have to move this face here, or you could move the L such that the middle piece here of the L and the single piece here are in the same locations on the different faces here. And then once you have that, you can go and turn these two right sides up, turn the top, and then pull it back down, so that now you have this white 2x2 here. So we just took that white piece that was here and moved it up from that L notation. So now whenever you do one piece on these centers here, you have to do the one that's either directly next to it on this side or directly behind it on this side, so that you don't have any additional errors. In this case here, I see that we have another yellow L, so now we can just look around the cube, just turn it so that it's on top for the other yellow piece, and we see that it's 2 layers down this time. It's 2 faces down this time. So we have the L up here, and then 2 faces down we have the other yellow piece. So we still have to just match it up. See, the yellow piece down here is in the upper right corner, so then that means we have to put the L, the middle piece of the L, in the upper right corner. So now it is. So then you just turn it until the piece that you want matches up with this 2x1 here. You just turn the top twice until they're parallel to the direction of your other ones, and then you just pull it back the number of times that you moved it. So in that case, we have to move the right side twice, so we just pull it back twice, and you'll notice that your other side is completely fine, that you've already done, since you've only moved the cube forward and backwards equal amounts of time. So now the remaining 2 centers here, we just have a case where we have these 2 L's like this. We have this red L and this orange L. This is one case you have. Sometimes you might get a case where you have red here and orange here and orange here. I'll show you that one in a second. But for this case here, where you have these 2 double L's, you have to match it so that you can bring these 2 pieces that need to be switched to be as close as possible to each other. So we have this orange piece here and this red piece here up here. So we have them as close as they can be together. Then all you need to do is to turn both right faces up, turn the top one time, and then both right faces back, or an R prime, and then turn the top again. So now you have these 2x1s. Then once you have this, make sure that they're both in the same layer that you want to turn. So we have the orange 2x1 here in the same layer as this orange 2x1. Sometimes it might be like this, where you have the red and the orange in the same layer, but you have to turn it so that they're parallel. And then the same move as we learned earlier, you just pull it down, turn the front face twice, then pull it back up to get all the centers completed. Alright, this is another case here when you'll have these 2 red pieces here or 2 orange pieces here diagonally across from each other, and sometimes you may or may not have these 2x1 lines. It's the same move regardless. You just go up, turn the top, bring it back down, then you'll have the 2x1s here. Then you just line them up such that the red and the orange are in the same layer. You just turn the right side up, or you could turn the left side up. It's completely up to you. Turn the top twice, and then turn it down to have the centers completed. Now the last part of the solving for the centers involves the proximity of the colors, which I taught you earlier. So with the blue on top, we need to have it such that the red and the yellow are in the correct positions, in the counterclockwise positions. In this case it is. We have the blue, the red, and the yellow. They're in the correct positions. But now we have to make sure that the other colors are in the correct position. So blue is opposite green, that's correct. So now we have the red should be opposite the orange, but in this case it's opposite the white. So we have to switch that around, and we have the yellow opposite the orange, and we have to switch that around as well. And if you're ever in doubt of which color goes where, you can just look at a corner piece to show you the proximity of the color. So this is blue on top, this is a blue corner here. It has blue, orange, and white on it. So you should know that if you were to match this up, that orange should go here, and then that white should go there, based on this corner. So you could always just look at the corners and base it as well, similarly to how we solved the 2 by 2. So in this case, the yellow is not opposite the orange, so we need to switch it such that this white and orange switch places. In order to switch these two centers here, you just do this following algorithm. In order to switch these positions here. If they're directly across from each other, you just have to do this algorithm twice. So you would move, like say I wanted to switch this orange and red face, I wanted to switch them, I could just do it twice, just go twice, and then like that for one, and then do the same thing for the other one to have it solved like that.